Hey there guys and girls, Manly's here and welcome back to another video. So today I got you my TSM groups. Finally I've managed to get these put together and all collated in a nice organised sensible fashion so you guys can dive straight into Shadowlands and know exactly what you're doing with any of the professions. So let's jump straight into what this does actually contain. So first and foremost, click the top link in the description. That will take you to my Shadowlands cheat sheet. You guys may have seen this before if you're regular viewers to the channel. This is just a simple Google Doc that I've been putting together through my time on the beta, and it contains a whole bunch of stuff, and I'm constantly updating it. So keep that link, bookmark that link, as it's going to be helpful to you long term. As you can see, there's already a whole bunch of people that are using it on a regular basis. So it's got some useful goodies in there. But today we're talking about the Trade Skill Master stuff. And it's real simple. All things Trade Skill Master. Paste bins available for all of the inputs, import groups needed for the different professions in Shadowlands. So you can see I've done a single one for each of the main crafting professions, so that if you just want to focus on, if your main is going to be enchanting and alchemy, for example, you could just get the groups for those two specific professions without the need of importing all of them. I recommend most people pick up the cooking one, because at least on your main character you want to use cooking. Or if you're not too bothered about the crafting side of things and you just want to be able to know, well, what are the new materials? Can I use TSM to buy these materials? Maybe do some, maybe even use them for selling the materials that I go out there farming. There's loads of possibilities with Trade Skill Master. There's a single paste bin just for the actual materials itself. But I imagine this is the one that most people are going to be after. It's the complete groups. It contains a bit of everything, contains all of the above, and it's nice and neatly organised and laid out. So how do we import this first and foremost? Well, it's real simple. Click on the paste bin link. I've already got it open in another window here. But then what that will take you to is your interface will look something like this. This big raw paste data thing is what you want. You want to select all of this, and then you want to copy it. Once you've got that, head back into game. As long as you've got the TSM application already installed, you can open it up and it will look something like this. Ignore my measly amount of gold. But then you can go to the groups tab, and then there's this little button at the top here called import group. Click on that and then paste in that big old number that seemed to make no sense, but now it starts to make a lot more sense. And now you'll see there's 137 separate groups. There is 0 operations. This does not contain any advanced operations. Those are something that is required for you to input, as it should be different for each and every person, because these are very personal, so I've just provided you the groups with this one. But quite simply, then just click import. Bang, in they go. You've got all of the different professions, all subcategorized. Every single item that can be crafted with those professions is in the groups, and I've, at least for the most part, tried to make it kind of intuitive to what group, where things are, for example. So with inscription, we all know a lot of people are going to be onto the Dark Moon cards pretty quickly. We've got the Dark Moon cards group with all the different cards, and I've even split them down into their different decks to make it a little bit easier for you if needs be. Trinkets I've separated out because you're likely going to want to set up a different way of selling these. You may not necessarily need a crafting operation for these, because your crafting operation comes here, here and here. But I've tried to get it all sort of somewhat simple, somewhat straightforward. I should probably show you guys the material group. I've also added in this every single Shadowlands material that you are going to need. So once again, try to categorize it so it's at least somewhat sensible for you to use. Essences, for example, if you're doing some prospecting for your jewel crafting, all of the essences are here. This group, I imagine, for most people is going to be one of the most helpful, as you can use this as a big old shopping list. You can go to the auction house, you can just put a simple shopping scan on this, and you can very quickly see all of the new materials. Now, questions have been asked of this, is this for everything, or is this just for Shadowlands? For now, this is just Shadowlands, but what does that mean? It means that you can import this quite comfortably on top of any existing TSM profile you may have. It shouldn't make any weird and wonderful changes to what you've already got going on. Or if you're like me and at the beginning of a new expansion you just like to start afresh, you can import it straight into a blank profile like this and be up and running pretty quickly. A few bits of advice when it comes to using Trade Skill Master at the beginning of expansion. I personally will be only using Trade Skill Master for the purpose of buying materials and crafting materials, crafting items that I have sold out of. So I'll use it in essence for restocking my crafts, and I'll use it for buying materials. I will not be using it for selling the items. I will be posting everything manually. Now, some people are like, well, what's the point of using TSM if you're going to do it manually? Well, it's a good foundation to work onto in the future. At the beginning of an expansion, DB market price, DB region market price, all of these sort of things that usually are quite somewhat accurate numbers to use are wildly inaccurate. They're all over the place. Every server is going to have slightly different prices for things, and it's really up to you to keep a good eye on it yourself manually. I generally recommend learning how to do anything manually before you try and get an add-on to do it for you quicker and easier. So yes, I would not recommend using any auctioning add-ons for TSM unless, of course, now I know some of you are pro goblins out there, unless you are very, very comfortable in using TSM and creating the operations, I wouldn't bother straight away. Use the groups so that you could have everything categorized in a somewhat organized fashion to begin with, and then maybe I've been asked if I'm going to do a TSM beginner's guide, introduction guide. I will get to that, but I can't guarantee it's going to arrive on the channel before Shadowlands launches. But guys, if you've got any questions about this, leave it down in the description down below. Unfortunately, in the comments, I'm not going to be able to do much troubleshooting for you. If you've got any specific questions about operations, that sort of thing, make sure to come check out our live streams. We live stream Monday through till Friday, every single day on the channel. So make sure that subscribe button is pressed, notification bell on. You can always follow me on Twitter as well. Twitter's actually probably the most reliable way to get a notification of when the stream goes live, because we all know what YouTube's like with its notifications. But guys, I'll leave that with you. Kind of quick, kind of short little video for you today. I'm hoping to take a few days rest before Shadowlands, before the craze kicks off. But we've got one more day of streaming tomorrow. But I hope that's helpful to you. So like the video if you enjoyed it, subscribe if you're new around here, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.